Hey everybody, Hoang here, and today we have a new episode of Eyes on the Meta. Eyes on the Meta is a series that I started a while back where we look at very interesting Japanese lists that have been topping recently. I do want to disclaim that this video does not represent the Japanese meta in its entirety, but rather it highlights interesting lists that I thought were really cool and I wanted to share with the rest of you guys. With that being said, let's get right into it, right? So the first list that I want to talk about is a really interesting DonDevi list. As you can see on the screen, it runs the new Mermixmon engine with the Ornismon, as well as the Boogimon? I believe it's Boogimon. So a couple of takeaways I do want to point out. So number one is that this deck is sticky, like really sticky. And why I'm saying that is because not only do you have Mermixmon into Ornismon, which is also pops a card when Ornismon is played, but also you have DonDevimon, who's a bit sticky, right? So this deck is you get rid of one threat, another threat comes out, and then vice versa, it just keeps going. We do see that it runs the Boogimon, who is a 7k level 4. Why we are starting to see a rise in 7k level 4s is because of the bond decks. Being able to swing into a bond deck and survive is really crucial, because then that allows you to get a lot of tempo off. So let's say, for example, you're playing against Gabumon, and Gabumon, you swing your Boogimon into it. Their security is composed of a lot of weak stuff for the most part, right? Because you have to run all the Gabumon, Tamers, etc. Your Boogimon survives, okay, that's because it's 7k, and then you're able to Deathclaw off of that Boogimon. That's a lot of tempo that you've just created right there. Alright, it's a 2 for 1 value more or less. So, we also notice that we run the not the Hell's Gate, the, what is it called? The Underworld Call. Right, so we do run Underworld's Call, which is when this card is discarded, you're able to draw 1, and if you hard play, then you play a level 4. And so we can discard this off of our Lady Devimon, for example, to get that draw 1. We can also use that to revive a bunch of different targets, right? We can revive Blocker Devi with Vengeance, Rookies, Boogimon as well. So there's quite a bit that we can do with that. And we also run the Fly Bullet, because Fly Bullet is really good removal in general. It's excuse me, it's Hell's Gate without the really dampening restriction on it. And then we run the one Millenniumon because, being able to go from 6 to 6 and then 3 to 6, you're getting a free 6 at the end of the day, so you're really incentivized to run that Millenniumon. And we see the 2 Night Raid because being able to revive DonDevimon is cool. I don't think this is necessary. We've seen time and time again in previous DonDevi lists that Night Raid isn't, necessary, but it's nice. It's nice for sure. Moving on, we have a Blacklist. I don't even know what is playing right now. What is this? Okay, so anyway, so we have a Blacklist going on right now. It is a Reboot style Pile Volcamon deck, and what this brings to the table is, first of all, you have your Reboot. You have cards like Galgamon, Metal Greymon, Black Metal Garurumon, and then the hot and furious Metal Storm, as well as the War Greymon that has Reboot plus Security Attack plus 1. I do want to point out that this Metal Garurumon actually does potentially get a lot of value because it can snipe opposing Sistermons, snipe opposing Gabumons, Agumons, etc. Right? So that's pretty cool. Having a Reboot is nice in general. Reboot as a keyword, I feel like is really good overall. But the part that I really want to emphasize, for me personally, is the Pile Volcamon little package. What Pile Volcamon does is not only does it have Reboot, but also when one of your Digimon is destroyed, then you're able to de-digivolve one of your opponent's Digimon. And we do run the 8 decoy package. So what that does mean is when one of your decoy is destroyed, then you can de-digivolve one of your opponent's Digimon. And this is really good against decks like Justimon, because also it works for your blockers. So for example, excuse me, let's say that Justimon swings, it kills a blocker, right? Then Justimon would be de-digivolved back into like Savior Hackmon or so. I think Pile Volcamon is a card that's heavily slept on. I think this card has a lot of future impact. Overall, really good, for sure. Definitely for sure. Man. Okay. So, going on next, we see a red deck, and this red deck is a hybrid between red and black, Gigadramon and Megadramon, right? We see that it runs the Black Tie, it runs the the Mechanorimon, as well as Craniamon. So we do want to note that this is basically just Craniamon in red, which I think is pretty cool because you have a lot of effect destruction that we can stop. For example, Musketeer is seeing a surgeon play, Fly Bullet, Geistschwalzer, etc. Right, a bunch of really powerful destruction effects, and so Craniamon gets a lot of value in that respect. So being able to go into that Craniamon while maintaining the powerful red cards, such as Atomic Blaster, Gaia Force, and such, I think is really impactful. Not only that, but the Megadramon, Gigadramon package also give Craniamon some really significant DP boost. And then, obviously, Gallantmon, absolutely fantastic side boss, being able to get not only security pressure, but also remove threats. So, really good stuff. Up next, we do see a little bit of Green. Green, unfortunately, didn't get a lot in set 6 because of Aoismon. Aoismon took away slots from Green, despite being a white card, which really hurt the color. But despite that, Green is unrelenting. It won't give up. It keeps going, and it keeps seeing results to some degree, and I think it's really exciting. So we see in this list that we're running the 3 Izzy-Mimi, and for those of you that don't know, we get Izzy-Mimi in set 5, and what Izzy-Mimi does is not only does it give you 2 memory at the start of your turn if your opponent has a suspended Digimon, but also when your level 5 would attack, you check top, I want to say 3, it could be 5, but I want to say 3, maybe it's 5, one of those numbers, I forget, and then if it's just level 6, you can Digivolve into that 6. So why this is really cool is that both Nidhogg and Mega Gargomon do things on Digivolve. So basically you're playing roulette, and you can go further on the roulette if you wanted to play like Jagamon, so you can play like Jagamon roulette, and that's cool and all. But I just think in general, being able to high roll your opponent definitely could yield some results, and we do see the Tyrannomon make a reappearance. Tyrannomon able to fetch the Izzy-Mimi, so that's pretty cool. Up next, oh, and I do want to point out, Tyrannomon fetches a 5 in a Tamer, while Togemon from set 1 fetches a 5 or above. But in this context, you don't need to find your 6, because you're just going to roulette into it. So I think it's actually really interesting. That's really cool, actually, now that I'm thinking about it. Okay, up next we have a Justimon list. However, it's not a typical Justimon list. This is Justimon Aoismon. I personally really don't like Aoismon because of what it did to Green. That's my personal vendetta. I think Aoismon is just worse BT1 Omnimon because it's just Omnimon with a gimmick, but nonetheless, right? I think this is really cool. Not only are we running these Tamer Searcher Agumon to find our Menoa, but we're using the Rowdy Rocker to shove cards such as the Greymon or Balhackmon underneath the Aoismon, so that your Aoismon is just swinging for a lot of value. Balhackmon then makes Aoismon essentially unblockable, because one of the big issues with Aoismon is that you can get all the security attack in the world, but then you just get chump blocked. Where with Balhackmon, Aoismon can pop that blocker, assuming it's a 5k blocker, and then you're able to get a bunch of damage off. So I think conceptually, this is actually pretty cool. Rowdy Rocker is definitely a card that I feel like hasn't been explored enough, and it opens up a lot in general, right? And obviously, if the Aoismon package fails, then you're playing Justimon in the back, so like, screw it, right? Up next, we do see Green-Yellow Rookie Rush. I feel like I haven't talked about this deck yet. I don't think I have, at least. But Green-Yellow Rookie Rush is the evolution of Green-Yellow Rookie Rush from set 5 that we will see. It does have access to both 8mon, the Tinkermon, New Pulsemon, as well as Wyvern's Breath and Acid Injection. So what did these cards do, and what did they bring to the table? First off, 8mon is a 2-cost AK beater, so he's just thick. He's just really thick. Pulsemon is... Oh, that's just the regular Pulsemon. I thought it was the new Pulsemon, but we already know about this Pulsemon. Tinkermon, though, is on play, give a Digimon -1 security attack, so that's pretty cool. Helps reduce aggression that may be incoming towards you. Wyvern's Breath is... It's essentially Yellow's Gaia Force. It's just -15k DP to a Digimon. Really powerful. And then Acid Injection is a 1-cost, burn your own security to -5k, so you're able to pop some of those blockers that may stand in your way. So definitely Green-Yellow Rookie Rush gets some bonuses in the upcoming set, so look forward to that. Now we have a blue deck. This is Bond of Friendship, but it's Bond of Friendship with a really interesting take to it, in my opinion. This is very heavy, very option-heavy Bond of Friendship, as we see with the Mimi, as well as the Purple Mat. And what is the objective with this? Well, first of all, Mimi gives you +1 memory whenever you cast an option, and you have your Vulcan Hammers. This list runs Boring Storm, so it essentially becomes a 0 cost to draw 1, and it also runs the Howling Memory Boost. But in the purple side of things, we run the Fly Bullet, because again, Fly Bullet is a very powerful card, as it's just it's really powerful in removal. It's 6 or less anything, I believe. You can't hit 7s, unfortunately, but it should be okay since you're pressuring off of the Ancient Guru Gabumon combo. So Fly Bullet is really good. And then we also run the Back for Revenge. What this does, and really, really cool stuff, let me tell you, is if a Digimon would be destroyed, you can revive that Digimon. So the combo here is Lobomon promo. If you were to warp into the Ancient Garurumon, that Digimon is destroyed at the end of the turn. But with the Back for Revenge, when Ancient Garurumon would be destroyed, it would then revive itself. And I think that combo is really, really innovative. It's really smart. And then that's why Purple Mat's there, I'd imagine, to recycle your Fly Bullets and your Back for Revenge. So that's actually a really, really interesting way to look at the Gabumon deck. Japan really loves Gabumon. They play this deck a lot. It's arguably first best deck in the meta, right? It's one of those. It's in contention with Justimon, Musketeer seeing a spike in play, right? But we see innovation regardless, and I think that's really, really cool for sure. Next, Shoutmon makes a reappearance, but this is no ordinary Shoutmon, right? This Shoutmon does feature some new cards that we saw in the BT6 set. First off, it does feature the new Shoutmon, which is if you swing with a Digimon with Blitz, you are able to draw 1. Red oftentimes is a color that lacked the ability to draw cards, and so this Shoutmon is a really, really nice addition. But I feel like the biggest addition to this list is Ashuramon. Ashuramon or Ashuramon? I'm not sure how to pronounce it exactly, but Ashuramon is a level 5 with Blitz, and what that means for this deck is you can proc all of your Blitz effects a turn earlier, right? Or not all your Blitz effects, because really it's just the Shoutmon, so you're able to just get that draw 1. But still, you can proc it with cards like Lightning Joust. You can just swing into Ashuramon, and then you can use that for some lethal pressure. I think the Ashuramon is a really, really interesting adaptation. Just having an additional Blitz as well as being able to swing a 1 turn earlier than your opponent may expect is really, really cool. For example, if your opponent swings and their board lives, right, if their body lives rather, Ashuramon is capable of punching that because, let's say you were to Digivolve and your turn would pass and you couldn't swing into it, that would really suck. Whereas now we have Ashuramon. That's gonna bother me now. Somebody tell me that would be really, really cool. But now you're able to punish that. It's really, really cool stuff. And then obviously we do see Rowdy Rocker once again. Actually, the Rowdy Rocker being able to shove that Greymon, as well as Shoutmons if you didn't have it already. So that's pretty cool. I really, really like that actually. And then finally, honestly, dude, this is like top 5 most creative list for me. I'll be very real. This list is very, very innovative. It is BT1 HerculesKabuterimon with a splash of blue and black. I don't even know how to describe this. This is a work of art, really. Really, really phenomenal stuff. So the concept of this is that you want to get value off your Hercules swings. How do we get value off our Hercules swings? Well, first of all, we have to be able to swing Hercules multiple times without passing the turn. And that's where the I believe it's like Venom. I don't think it's Venom Disaster, but it's like Tropical Poison, Tropical Venom, something along those lines. It's 0 cost. You give it to one of your opponent's Digimon. They get when deleted, gain 2 memory. So what you do is you throw this on one of your opponent's Digimon. Hercules swings, and then you get back that 2 memory. So you're paying for his cost. So Hercules essentially only costs 1. So that's really, really cool. And then if you have Lilomon underneath it, you can get the free the free rest rather. So you can just keep slapping stuff. And then you're like, okay, where does Hercules get his power from? Well, starter deck Palmon and starter deck Togemon both give +2k on swing, and that's not once per turn. So every time it swings, it would just get power. We do see, I think Venom Disaster is the 6 cost option now that I think about it. And then Tropical Poison maybe is the 0 cost. With the 6 cost option is rest all of your opponent's Digimon, I believe. And then for every Digimon you rested, you gain a memory back. So again, that's just Hercules setup. You're getting in there. We do see the black Izzy Joe. who's not only a really easy condition to proc, so you get an additional 2 memory for relatively cheap, but it allows us to access that Ultimate Flare. Ultimate Flare is a very powerful card. It's also just a blowout versus, say, Justimon, say, Gabumon, etc. Really, really powerful card for sure. We also have the Mechanorimon. Not only is it a really powerful blocker, but it also gives another way to access that Ultimate Flare. And then we run the Davis, because the Davis allows us to search for our Hercules, which is ultimately our win con. This entire deck, it lives and dies by Hercules. So that Davis is really nice. And then it runs Lobomon as a finisher, right? You have that blue Tamer, you might as well use that blue finisher. So, you get the triple swing off of Herc, and then Lobomon finishes the game. Really, really cool stuff. So, I know this one was a bit rough. I haven't done one of these in a while, and some audio issues happened during the video, but I hope you guys enjoyed seeing some of the more creative decks that will come out of Japan. Thank you guys for watching, and we're only, I think, like 30 subs away from 3,000, so we can push for that. You guys join my Discord server, give me some feedback. I really appreciate it. So thanks for you guys watching, and until next time.